This news is funded by viewers like you. Please support our work at democracynow.org/give.
Aid agencies are running out of food in southern Gaza amid Israel's ongoing offensive in Rafah. The World Food Programme says it's run out of stocks in Rafah and has suspended food aid distributions there for several days. No food has entered the two main border crossings in southern Gaza for more than a week since the Israeli assault on Rafah began, and Israeli forces seized control of and closed the border crossing with Egypt. Some 1.1 million Palestinians are on the brink of starvation, according to the UN, while a full-blown famine is taking place in the north. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said today, quote, "The impact is devastating for over 2 million people."
This comes just days after Israeli settlers blocked aid trucks headed to Gaza through the occupied West Bank from Jordan. Footage of the incident shows settlers raiding the aid trucks, throwing food into the road and setting fire to vehicles at the Tarqumiyah checkpoint near Hebron in the occupied West Bank. Palestinian truck drivers say they fear for their lives after the attack.
We went to the checkpoint, and after the check, we were surprised to see settlers on the roundabout of the checkpoint. They damaged the cars, they tore the tires off the trucks, they threw the contents of the truck on the ground. We gathered some of the products and sent some of those products onto a bulldozer and sent them to the street farms. Around 15 trucks were damaged. Their hull was damaged, windows of the trucks were broken, some drivers were beaten, some of the products were thrown away, and the whole loss for Hebron is around $2 million.
At a White House press briefing Monday, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan was asked by reporters about the attack on the aid convoy.
It is a total outrage that there are people who are attacking and looting these convoys coming from Jordan, going to Gaza to deliver humanitarian assistance. We are looking at the tools that we have to respond to this, and we are also raising our concerns at the highest level of the Israeli government, and it's something that we make no bones about. This is completely and utterly unacceptable behavior.
The attack on the aid convoy was the culmination of weeks of Israeli settlers attempting to block aid trucks from reaching Gaza. For more, we're going to Tel Aviv to speak with Sapir Sluzker Amran, an Israeli human rights lawyer and peace activist who documented the attack on the aid convoy right near Hebron. She's the co-director of Breaking Walls, an intersectional feminist grassroots movement. Welcome to Democracy Now!, Sapir. It's so good to have you with us. If you can describe exactly what took place, how you ended up there when the Israeli settlers attacked the aid convoy, and what exactly they did to the convoy and to you.
Hey, so thank you so much for having me. Before we get into details, just to say from Tel Aviv that we are calling for ceasefire and safe return of the hostages, and hope to see this war ending as soon as possible and not seeing another one. So I came on Monday. It was after a few months when they were organizing those kinds of actions, those looting actions, settlers and their supporters. They are organizing in those WhatsApp groups, getting notifications from inside information, actually, to know where the trucks are going and coming from, and then trying to block them or to loot and destroy the entire food on the trucks. And when I came on Monday, it was I wasn't sure, it was trying to document. It was after seeing those footages, those videos that they published a few months now, trying to organize groups, but people were afraid, and they should be afraid because they're coming with guns and knives and axes even, and the police and the IDF is totally on their side and not protecting us. But when I was there, I came to document to understand a bit what's going on. And then after they had this first round of looting the convoy there, they started to go to another crossing in order to see if there was more trucks there, because they got an inside information again that there might be other trucks a few minutes drive from that crossing. I was there with another activist. We went to the drivers of the trucks to see if we can help. And they were very surprised. They didn't understand why there are Jewish people, Israelis, that want to help them. It took them a minute to understand that we are Arabs, but not Palestinians. We are Arab Jews, and we are with them. So we started to pack everything again, one of the trucks, and we almost finished, and then they came back. More people, I think there were around a few dozens, and then it became almost 150 people. At that time, they did whatever they want. So I want to be specific. This event, I got a message on WhatsApp that this event is starting, and they are asking people to come around 9:30 in the morning. They were there on their way. So they were there at 10 a.m. I came at 12. I left there for my own safety around 3 p.m. and there were dozens of people, and people kept coming. So it happened for hours. There were a few soldiers there without a supervisor. They didn't know what to do. They were just going around, maybe 2 policemen, and that's it. And what the settlers did is tearing up the entire food that was there. There were bags of rice, bags of sugar, instant noodles in bags, and they did it in a way that we cannot repair it. They did it in a way that they're tearing everything down, jumping on the instant noodles, so we cannot save it. And yeah, that was the situation. We saw a lot of families there. I think that the youngest person that was there was maybe 3-year-old kid with his father, like it was like a fun day, a festival day, and more teenagers that were there, and they did whatever they want. They laughed, they enjoyed, and they said it was the best action that we had till now. It was in Tarqumiyah crossing, and I think many came because it's in the area of the settlers, so it was very easy for them just to be fast and to hold those trucks.
So, Sapir, could you talk about what the settlers did specifically to you, what happened to you, and then explain who the settlers are and what their justification is for doing that, for disrupting the aid convoys and destroying all the aid? They say that the aid is helping Hamas, and they want to obstruct its delivery until the hostages are released. Who are the settlers, and do they have any connection to the government?
Yeah, so I think, just to say I'm not the story here, yes, I will share that I was injured, one of the settlers, so I'm not sure how, but I couldn't stand aside when I saw them running again, going on the trucks, that it was the sugar, with sugar bags. Going on the trucks with their knives and weapons and axes and all kinds of sharp objects and tearing down everything, and I couldn't, and I started to run towards them and document it and tell them, please stop, what are you doing? This is food. Like, you have to understand, inside of 48, inside Israel, we have more than 2 million people that are under the poverty line. This is food. We have an hour from now people that are hungry. They can be your family that are hungry an hour from here. And they didn't care about it. So I went on the truck and tried to stop them, and I called and I screamed on the IDF. They were like very young soldiers. I told them, come and help me. This is your role. This is not my role. Come and help me. I can't do it on my own. And my friend was documenting it and trying also to talk with them and trying to stop them while they were doing it. And they tried to prevent her to photograph, and she managed to do it anyway. So when I was on the truck, one of the settlers in front of an IDF that was right next to us, he kind of slapped me extremely hard, and then he was trying to escape. The police was there. The police took him. I told him I want to press charges. They said no, and they hid him, so I couldn't document him, even though I have his photo and a video. And then after 10 minutes, he came back, like nothing was happened. So they took him only to protect him, not for something else. And I was the only one that the government, the IDF, the police asked for to see an ID. All the time, they didn't ask anyone from them, from the settlers, to get out of this of this area, that it was like a parking lot. Only us, only the two of us, just the two of us. And they were just sitting there or standing there while I was telling them, you're standing right here, you see someone with a knife. That person, a teenager, took a knife at me. I told them, you see him, at least take the knife, so like he won't attack me. And they didn't care about it. They were just standing aside like there is nothing that they can do, like it's normal what's happening.
So, Sapir, we only have a few minutes left, and we want to know, who are these Israeli settlers? Who are the people that destroyed the aid truck?
Yeah, so those are the people, settlers that are, living in the settlements. They're Orthodox Jews, just from the National Zionist Jewish stream, Zionist stream. They have many supporters in government. They are the government. It's not that they're supporters. We know that yesterday, I want to say something like that. Right now, I can show you, I can add you right now, Amy, to a WhatsApp group, because they're organizing right now to do it again. So they have this information. No one is trying to stop them. I think maybe it's not clear that nothing has changed from Monday. They are still doing it. I don't know what is showing on the international media, what the Israeli government is publishing, but they are doing it right now with their names, with their numbers, and they don't care about presenting even themselves and documenting the stuff, because they know that nothing is going to happen for them. No circumstances, no objects, and nothing will happen at all. So they are connected to the government. We know that some of them are working with the government. We know that some of them, I won't be surprised if they're funded from the government. We have MKs, members of the parliament, the Israeli parliament, that are supporting it, that coming to those actions. We have someone that is a CEO of a right-wing organization that just got, a few months ago, he has a photo with one of the MKs, the chairman of the Knesset, giving him a diploma to thank him for his service to Israel. Okay, so last week it was the mayor of one of the big cities in the south of Israel. They are the blood, and they are part of it. What you are doing is just, we can call it privatization of the violence, which means that the government knows that they hide because of the US. They have to pretend that they're obeying international law, but in fact they don't want to. So they have these kids, they have these settlers, they have their supporters, that they are part of their political parties, and also they're also funding them to tell them, go to this crossing and handle it.
Sapir,
so that's why the police is not intervening, because the police belongs to Ben Gvir and those kinds of people. So
Sapir Sluzker Amran, we want to thank you so much for being with us, Israeli human rights lawyer and peace activist who went to the Tarqumiyah crossing in Hebron to document the attack on a Gaza-bound aid convoy by Israeli settlers. She's also the co-director of Breaking Walls, an intersectional feminist grassroots movement. We had this in the Times of Israel. Israeli extremists mistook on Wednesday, 2 days after the attack on the convoy she described, they mistook a regular commercial truck traveling in the West Bank for a convoy carrying humanitarian aid to Gaza and attacked the vehicle. The vigilantes set a fire in the road, dumped the truck's contents onto the pavement, and assaulted the Palestinian driver. Video from the scene showed the driver lying on the street, bloodied. Democracy Now! Is funded by viewers like you. Please give today at democracynow.org/give.